Whenever I'm preparing to list a home, I come through with a home stager, and together we boss my clients around and tell them what needs to get done in order to put their home's best foot forward when it goes on the market. Hi, I'm Marilee Wolf with Compass Real Estate, and I'm going to give you my 3 top tips to get your house ready for the market. Here we go. Number 1, you've probably already guessed it, declutter. But let's go a little bit deeper in this conversation. Unless you're a minimalist, some degree of decluttering is going to need to get done. Visual clutter distracts from your home's features and sends a signal that there might not be enough storage space or living space in your home. I'm talking about too much furniture in your rooms, overflowing and disorganized closets, too much artwork and knickknacks. But let's go a little farther on this. Too many area rugs or mats, too much wallpaper, too many bold paint colors from room to room, closets that are so full a buyer won't be able to see how big they are. If you generally keep a disorganized and messy house and don't do much about it before going on the market, an underlying message might be sent that you didn't really take that great of care about the ongoing maintenance of your house either. Now, this might be completely false, but it will send that message. And it's going to send it through your online listing photos, causing you to lose potential appointments from folks seeing your messy house online. Here are some simple things that you can do to avoid this and to put the focus on your home, not on your stuff. I love this tip. If you're overwhelmed or feel that you just don't have an eye or the time for this, hire a professional organizer. This is probably not going to cost you as much as you may think. And trust me, a good organizer is worth his or her weight in gold. Going through this process will ultimately make moving easier because things are going to be pared down and already in their places. If you have hoarding tendencies, don't be embarrassed. You're not alone. Having a professional organizer might sound scary because you think they're going to tell you to throw all your stuff out, but many of them are specially trained to help you and to provide you with mechanisms you can carry forward into your life and to your next home to help keep things under control. We're still on tip number 1. It's a big one. We're still on decluttering, and I am of the mind that your living spaces should be pared down and clutter-free, but your basement and or your garage don't necessarily have to be. Now, having those spaces crammed so tightly that major systems can't be reached or no one can walk around in them is not what I'm talking about. But start packing away all your items in boxes that you can put on shelving in your basement or your garage. Dedicate an area where excess furniture can go and neatly store it away. People aren't going to care. It's a basement, it's a garage. If you don't have these spaces available to you, though, if you're in a condo with no basement or no garage, get a storage unit or a pod where items can be stored while you show and sell your home. Again, with decluttering, disorganized closets that are all cluttered with your junk, that's going to make a home look like it doesn't have enough storage space. And people want to be able to see how big those closets are. So a quick way to remedy this is by removing everything from the floors. And I know, shoes, vacuum cleaners, just do the best that you can with this. Another visual trick for closets is to organize your clothing by color. Put all your white shirts together, and then the blue, and then the red, etc. Clutter extends to visual overload. Too many wallpaper patterns or bold wall colors can be visually distracting and register as clutter. If you have, for instance, wallpaper all over your house, consider neutralizing just the hallways and major living spaces, such as the living room or the dining room or the kitchen. This is going to make a huge impact on your photos, as well as give a fresh appearance to the whole house when you have buyers come through. The same concept applies to your floors and all of those little area rugs. Cobbling together a whole bunch of area rugs only serves to break up a room and make it look smaller. If you're trying to protect your hardwood, ask guests to wear booties and ditch all of those little rugs. Now, if you're trying to hide little imperfections or big imperfections, like where Bowser peed on the floor 10 years ago and now there's a dark stain, your buyer is going to see that anyhow at the walkthrough. And then you'll need to deal with it right before settlement, which is not a good scenario. Disclose those imperfections and get rid of all of those area rugs. Now, a last note before we move on finally from decluttering. I'm not necessarily on team depersonalize. If you have a few family photos or the like, I don't think they need to be taken down. In my opinion, your home should look like a home, not a furniture showroom. Okay, finally we're on tip number 2. Decluttering was a big one. Tip number 2 is lighting. A dark home can really kill your whole vibe, but this doesn't mean that you have to spend thousands on rewiring your whole house and putting in overhead lighting where you don't currently have any. Here are a few ideas instead. First of all, focus on your windows to maximize natural light. Take down valances and heavy drapery if possible. That's right, I want a bare naked window with just the blinds. That's gonna make your house look more modern and lighter. If you can't do this or you don't have blinds, then consider taking down those heavy draperies and valances and replace them with just simple panels that can be pulled shut when you need privacy, but then pulled open and pulled to the sides for your photos and for your appointments. And while we're talking about windows, right before the house goes on the market, have them professionally cleaned. You're going to be shocked at the difference that this makes of natural light coming into your home. Now, another big thing, make sure all of your light bulbs, first of all, work, and that they're also sending out the same color temperature. LED bulbs offer light in a range of color temperatures. It's what makes light feel warm or cool. A lower color temperature produces a warmer, more relaxing light, and a higher color temperature is going to emit a cooler, more refreshing light. Color temperature is measured by Kelvin and can be found on the packaging or in the light bulb specifications. You're going to see a K. When choosing bulbs for your home, it is my OCD's opinion that the color temperature in each room should be the same. Don't do cool and warm in the same room, please. It's very, very disorienting. Be cohesive and be consistent. And last with lighting, this is obvious, I hope. Light each room well. If you don't have ceiling or recessed lighting, get floor lamps and table lamps that blend with the room's decor. Just go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods or even a furniture consignment store. And by the way, that $20 Home Depot special with all of the octopus arms with light bulbs at the end that I see in so many corners of so many rooms, they're ugly, okay? You can find something that blends in and does a better job than that for not much more money. Finally, tip number 3, it's furniture arrangement. So what you want to do with furniture arrangement is to highlight features of your home by positioning your furniture properly. You want to highlight the flow of the floor plan and features such as a fireplace or a pretty staircase, beautiful windows or special woodwork and built-ins. Rooms should be easy to walk around in and look as large as possible and allow a potential buyer to imagine their own furnishings in it. And I know that that's a lot to deal with, but going back to tip number 1 of decluttering, pare down your furnishings as much as possible by putting excess furniture into your basement, garage, or storage unit. Don't make the mistake also of feeling that furniture needs to go up against all of your walls. You can highlight a fireplace with a seating arrangement in front of it. or you can create multiple seating and conversation areas within the same large room. In a nutshell, pare down, have good lighting, and maximize the flow, utility, and beauty of each room with the thoughtful placement of furniture. I hope this helps.